We are back in Stewart and we're already working. This time on Rig to Ramble, we are back to work on our sailboat. If you've been following along with our channel, you may have seen that we've taken a break from posting videos about this project to focus on our Panga. The reality is that we've been working simultaneously on both projects as our rapidly approaching deadline of leaving for the Bahamas draws near. We started working on this 1981 46-foot Morgan last October when we were given it for free. The previous owners were in a way over their heads with the amount of work that the boat needed, not to mention the engine was toast. We've completely overhauled this boat, giving it a whole new life, from repowering, sorting out the electrical, updating part of the interior, painting the hull, redoing the cockpit paint and non-skid, and now painting the deck. Not to mention countless fiberglass repairs to get us to this point. And we fabricated an aluminum solar arch and railings, plus stanchions and dinghy davits to boot. It's been a long journey and the end is in sight. Now we just need to get it painted. This video was filmed over the course of 5 or 6 weeks, as we would take a week to work on it and then a week off to work on the Panga. It's a long video, but you're definitely going to want to stay to the end to see the transformation. Next, I need to get washed off. So we are back in Stewart and we have a big job ahead of us. We're going to be prepping the deck of the boat and then painting it. And so Ashton and I have been already starting on getting a lot of these cracks, little spider web cracks. We routed them all out with a Dremel. He's gonna fill them with epoxy. We pretty much had to go around the entire cabin top. So the plan is to create a cove with epoxy, fill all of that in. All of these other little holes are going to be filled as well. It's going to be a thickened epoxy. We're going to use a filler type material. We'll show you that later. We're also just sanding the hatches and everything is getting prepped. And then the plan is to do half the boat this time. We're going to be here for about a week and then we'll head back to Charleston, come back, and then we're going to do the other half. So we're going to take it all the way to completion, half at a time. This is a 46-foot boat, so we got a lot of space to cover. So we're going to stop halfway around near the cockpit and then do the rest the next time we come here. Sometimes you just need to take a little break and lay in the grass.
Carly, we're just waiting on the water to dry. We're not really taking a break.
It's a break.
Okay.
Taking a break. But what's next? We have to fill all the cracks with putty. And what are we going to use?
Either West Systems or Racca.
Some sort of epoxy, and we're going to put a filler in it.
Yep. Colloidal silica, milled fibers, and white microballoons or microspheres. Glass bubbles, they call it.
We want to make it extra thick and strong so that we
thick and strong,
fill
like bull.
all of the cracks that we've created on the deck of the boat and on the cabin top.
We're gonna rename this thing to either Cracky Carly's boat or Holy Moly, because there's a lot of both, cracks and holes. But it's getting there.
Dogs are having a good time.
All right, we're gonna get some one.
So these were all just spider webbing type cracks in the gel coat that most sailboats and boats have over time.
Oh yeah, unless they're a really quality built boat, which this is not. It's a good boat.
It's got some thick fiberglass.
Yeah, it's built like strong, but poorly built.
We found some voids underneath the deck.
We'll call this a Friday boat.
This is the boat that they had to get done before it was time to drink some beers, and they just were looking forward to the beers.
This is colloidal silica, milled fiber, and 1/4 ounce chop strand glass. Chop glass.
It's a little stronger than what we had before.
Much stronger. And we're using it to fill these areas that had the big voids. Another way to do this is to take and grind it out like a blister and fill it with matte, which is how we did some of the other ones we found.
So we've done a lot of the prep work for this paint job over the past couple of weeks. So this is kind of like the final stretch. We did a lot of that out on anchor, and while we were traveling down the ICW, we fixed a lot of the major fiberglass repairs that we had to do. So right now we're just focusing on these spiderweb cracks and all the last minute fairing that needs to be done, and hopefully we'll be able to paint in a few days. Mixed up a little bit more of the fairing compound. This is going to go on the base of where the cabin top meets the deck. And we had to grind a lot of that out, cracking. So Ashton went and put the epoxy mixture compound into a piping bag, like a cake piping bag, and we're going to use it to fill this crack.
There we go. Look at that. See, that's what we want it to look like.
So no spill.
Now, no. And we're gonna wipe it off on the board, but you gotta hold these at a bit of an angle. And if you miss a spot, you can start back over.
Today we are going to paint the hatch covers and the bezels all around them. Already Ashton has sanded down all of our repairs that we did yesterday with the fairing compound. You can see they're all sanded. They're mostly ready. We have a few spots we need to work on with filling and fairing, but we're just getting these hatches ready to paint. We're gonna spray them, and that's what we're doing. We're gonna use the same paint we're gonna use to paint the deck of the boat, and it's the same paint that we used to paint the hull of the boat, and it's this Sherloxane. So we're gonna be using a Harbor Freight cheap gun. This is just a quick little project. We didn't bring our setup for painting, so we went and got the $16 gun.
Huh?
What are you doing?
Fixing other people's bullshit is what I'm doing.
Looks like you're making a mess.
Look at this. This is not how you use fuel tape. Looks like chewing gum. Crazy.
It's the end of the day and we're still puttying, getting the last of the holes and cracks filled so that we can sand tomorrow, and the next day hopefully we can paint. So this morning we are taking the boat and putting it out on anchor so that we can finish our sanding and getting it prepped for our paint job. We want to put it out on anchor away from land a little bit to get less bugs in our paint, and also
just throw that bow line
the plants and trees dropping stuff in it. So Ashton is in a mad rush to get out of here because the tide is dropping and we have a little bit of a shallow spot to go over before he can get out of the canal. So that's what's happening. We'll be sanding on anchor today. Whoa! Easy. Okay, hold on. serious bow thruster. That thing rooster tails. That bow thruster is crazy. But it looks so nice with that arch. Bye, babe. There he goes.
This is the motor that's sank. You can hear it. It goes how long it'll last.
Hopefully we make it.
Huh?
Hopefully we make it.
But I'm saying Bahamas it might blow up, so I don't know. If it does, I got a spare.
Everything is sanded. We went over it with 80 grit and also 120, and we're going to paint everything now that is the smooth surfaces, so everything that's not non-skid.
It's all sanded.
And we're using a Sherwin-Williams product called Sherloxane. It's what we used on the hull of our boat. We're using a color called Matterhorn White, and that's an all grip color if you want to look that up. But yeah, we're gonna do that one coat, and then tomorrow we'll do our second coat.
Yep.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
We're gonna paint right to here. I'm gonna tape this here, like that. Okay. And then just start wiping down.
We're gonna wipe everything down with this Prep All product. It removes all the wax and grease. You can get this at Napa Auto Parts, I think, and we like to put it in a sprayer so that we don't use as much, and just spray it onto a paper towel to wipe it off. This morning we are back at it on anchor. We just sanded everything that we painted yesterday with 220 grit sandpaper, and we're going to wipe it down again and do another coat. Today we have a little bit of a different setup for painting. Yesterday Ashton put it on kind of thick, He didn't thin the paint too much. He wanted it to go on thick so that we could fill any little pinholes and cover up all our repairs and make sure we got some good coverage, but it left some streaks. Also, the brush that we were using wasn't the best brush, so it went on thick and there were some streaks. So we did sand a lot of that out and it's looking really good. And then today we're going to thin the paint a lot more, and we're using a badger hair brush. It's a very expensive professional brush for roll and tipping, and made specifically for tipping paint. It has a chiseled edge. That's from the artist himself. Ashton will be painting everything and I will be assisting and filming.
Let's go get some lunch and then we'll come back out here and do some more.
Here we are, 2 hours later, an hour later, 2 hours later probably, since we painted the coat that we painted today. And Ashton is going to be going around now with a Scotch-Brite pad, scuffing it up using a red Scotch-Brite, which is a little bit coarser than the green. But we're going to get ready to apply another coat today. Thankfully the wind has picked up and we won't have so many bugs in it, right?
That's why we're scuffing, just to get the bugs out.
Gotta get the bugs out. Earlier there wasn't much wind and there was a whole lot of bugs. But that's what you get. At least these guys are sailing nice. They got some wind. So did you thin the paint even more this time?
A little bit different type of reducer.
What did you use?
Something I probably shouldn't have used.
Who got this paint on my wood?
Yeah.
Did you just do that?
It's alright, it'll come off. I used a reducer made for Imran because I had it. I'm sure it's fine. I'm making replacement windows for Ripple. Cast acrylic. This is what you use. I had a guy cut it out, polish the edges, and make it fit the old port light. A little bit bigger, yeah. Because we took the port lights out and we're replacing them with solid windows. So what I'm doing is scribing the back side. The clear part will be exposed, so it's scribed. And when you take that off, because that's our template, then if I had a straight edge, I would use a straight edge, but instead I'm just kind of doing it by eye. I'm going to go around each corner, down each side. So, the reason I do that, peel this away. Which will reveal a border that then Carly, because she's so great at sanding, she's gonna sand this with like 300 grit sandpaper, and then we're gonna paint it. That way when we caulk this and glue it to the boat, you don't see the caulking through the tinted glass. One extra step, but well worth it.
So smart.
Yep.
We are back out on anchor, back to the boat. Yesterday we put in a long day of getting a next layer or two of paint on the smooth spots, the white, and today we are ready to do the non-skid. Okay, so we're gonna be mixing up our own concoction for our non-skid. The base is gonna be Sherwin-Williams Sherloxane 800 product. That's what we've been painting the whole boat with. And Austin, what are you gonna mix in there?
I'm gonna do half fine granulars and half coarse.
And this is by All Grip.
Yeah, it's called Grip Tex.
You're measuring it.
That's how I'm measuring it. This cup full, half and half, is gonna go to 40 ounces of paint.
How much is in that cup? Like 3 ounces, 4 ounces?
It's supposed to be done by weight, about 10 to 12 ounces per gallon.
Where's the wind?
That's 6 ounces by volume.
6 ounces, okay.
So let's see. Interdeck, which is also Axo Nobel, made All Grip. Axo Nobel makes Interlux and All Grip. They recommend I don't like their mixture, but they recommend 4 to 6 ounces by volume per quart of paint.
This isn't a very this is you can custom tailor your non-skid however you want. It's not going to affect how the paint's going to dry or the durability of it.
Or less.
It's how scratchy you want it on your booty if you're in a bikini.
How much you want to slip?
How much you want to be able to slip off your boat when it's
That looks
slippery.
like enough to me for 40 ounces of paint.
Okay, well, we're going with it. If you need to be more accurate, just read the instructions. I'm really excited about this color.
The color is called Aqua Mist. Again, it's a All Grip color that we had Sherwin-Williams match.
It's so pretty. It's lighter than the color on our hull. And it's good to go with light colors on this deck material because it gets really hot.
32 ounces of paint. So that'll give us 8 ounces of hardener. Maybe a splash of reducer, but probably not.
And we've got a 46-foot long boat, and we've purchased 2 gallons of the Sherloxane
For the non-skid.
for the non-skid. Color is pretty.
The texture's alright. I'm gonna get to rolling.
Okay.
And we're just gonna leave the tape. You're gonna have to do this with an artist brush, so I'll
I've
do that
got
side.
it. Yeah.
The color's beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. It's kind of blocking it.
Maybe the next coat we put a little bit of grit in it, not much though. Yeah.
Let's see how it turned out. Looks good. There's one little bug. But
Beautiful.
yeah, it looks great.
I say we just go over this again real
Fill
quick.
in those cracks and divots and dents.
Where's the pintura?
So we like to pull the tape when the paint is still wet to get a nice crisp line. We are back at it after lunch, and we are painting from the dinghy. Give me a smile, Ashton. Well, we just pulled off painting the whole boat from the dinghy, or the front of it at least, on the nonskid. Now let's see if we can pull off pulling all the tape without smudging it. We're back at the dock. As you can see, we've finished painting all of the front half of the boat. We'll be back at some point to do the rest.
What do you think, Carly?
I love it.
It looks beautiful, huh?
Yeah, so much nicer than what it was.
Oh my God.
This boat was a wreck. Once again, the car is packed with all of the things and the dogs. Is there a dog down there? Yeah. All right, Bendy, you ready? Ready to roll out? Yeah, you are. Ready, Ashton?
I reckon.
Bye, folks.
Another week the next time we come down, and we'll be getting close.
Couple more trips down 95. Bye. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it comes up pretty good.
So when we painted the top here, all the white surfaces we did with a brush, roll and tip, and they had some streaks. So Ashton is polishing and sanding. This is the before, so this shows some of the streaks you can see in the paint. And by wet sanding and then polishing, we're able to take those streaks out and create a high polish finish. So a good thing about this Sherloxane paint is that you can polish it up really nice.
Wet sand.
Yeah, so what grit did you use on the wet sanding?
Started with 600, and then 800, and then 1,000. And I really could do a better job wet sanding, it would come out better.
What polishing compound are you using?
It's like 3M heavy duty rubbing compound, and then machine polish, perfected machine polish.
Let me see.
This stuff's, they don't make this anymore. This is an old bottle.
Okay, so they don't make that one.
Neither of them have wax or silicones in them though.
Is there an alternative?
Yeah, like my favorite compound is called Cresta Supercut. It's like sandpaper itself. I wish I had them. I can get some. This stuff's not very aggressive. The paint looks slick as eel shit. Look at it.
That is the most redneck thing you've said in the last 24 hours.
Do not scratch around them windows, only on the inside, okay?
Well, we are back in Stewart working on this lovely polished up turd boat. Look at eel shit.
Yeah.
And we've got Ashton's brother here to help. He's in the back sanding. Hopefully this time with the sanding.
I don't think we're going to.
Ash doesn't think that's possible. We got weather coming, I guess. Some sort of front that's gonna bring some rain. It's already very windy, but we want to finish the painting this time. We just not sure if that's gonna happen. We'll see. Time will tell. The dogs are enjoying their day, so that's good. Day in paradise. We're working on putting these stanchions on the boat today at some point that we took off to paint it.
We didn't take them off.
Well,
We made these.
we made them. They never were installed
We
yet.
took the old ones off.
They were measured. So Ashton fabricated these aluminum stanchions. I've anodized aluminum, and we're gonna
Go show them
install
what they
them.
look like on Second Chance. Identical to the ones I have on mine.
I'll show you the ones on Second Chance. Dogs are having a morning wrestle. What are you doing? You beating up your sister? That's not nice, Cindy. So Second Chance has all aluminum stanchions as well with Dyneema lifelines. That's what we're going for. You can see there's also a very similar solar arch and railings on the back. Why don't you hook up?
I should, but I don't.
So we are racing against the clock because we have a storm coming, and we are trying to get these stanchions installed because we already drilled the holes.
Okay, this one's done. I hate it for us if we ever have to take these things up. Pull some of these screws.
We are really racing against the clock here. We have one more stanchion to wipe, and then I guess we're done. Well, we've got them done, and now it doesn't look like it's gonna rain as bad. But carry on. Hi, babe. Look, our lifelines are on. We are back in Stewart. We're here working on this sailboat now. The Panga is done for now, and it's time to focus on finishing our sailboat. We have half of it painted, and now we need to do the other half. And Ashton is just hooking up the lifelines with a Dyneema line on his custom stanchions. Our goal is to paint the second half of the boat, the back of the boat, this week, within a couple of days. And right now it's a little bit rainy, so we've been sanding. Ashton's pretty much finished off all of the repairs by filling them and fairing them. So right now we're just sanding everything down, but since it's raining, we really can't sand because the sandpaper is getting all clogged up with wet dust. However, Ashton, that doesn't stop Ashton. The front of the boat was already painted, and we used a product called siloxane.
The polysiloxane.
Polysiloxane.
Hybrid polyurethane epoxy coating. Very thick, very durable, and it sprays very well to where you don't have to do this, but if you put it on with a roller or a brush and you don't want to have roller or brush marks, then you have to come back and give it a quick buff with some wet sandpaper and polish it with some compound. Started with 400 grit lightly just to knock the big stuff down, and now I'm up to 800. And then I use a heavy compound called Presta Supercut. About 800 grit sandpaper stretches, and it will leave the paint nice and shiny.
All right.
And then we'll wax it. And then Charlie's gonna keep waxing it all summer long.
The back of the boat, you can see it needs some work. We've been putting in a lot of time and effort. We even had Ashton's brother here a couple weeks ago helping us, just repairing all of these little spots. You can see these are all voids that were in the fiberglass underneath the deck, basically underneath the top layer of glass that, for whatever reason, when they made this boat, there were voids in the fiberglass. So we've ground those out, filled them in, sanded everything. We did the same thing in the front with this cove all around the edge. We grinded that out and filled it with bearing compound. And this is gonna turn out beautiful because we put in all this time. But right now, it looks like a Frankenstein nightmare boat. But we're really hoping that after this week, it will look completely different. Now Ashton is working on the windows. We had those plexiglass pieces that we had cut for the port lights in the front cabins here, and we basically are eliminating these windows' ability to open. We didn't feel like taking them out, and we didn't feel like replacing them, and so we're just covering them up. It's cast acrylic, and we went around and spray painted the interior border so that you can't see through that part. And it just kind of looks like a black ring around it. Ashton's just lining them up right now, and then he's going to adhere them to the cabin top.
I use I'll show you, a double-sided tape just in a few places so it holds the window as they set. The green tape that I just put on is just so I can flip it down that and flip it right back up in place. That way it lines up. So I use this Sika 295, which is made for plastic, made for acrylic windows. I already put the double-sided tape on here. Indoor, outdoor, clear mounting tape.
The reason why we chose to do this is because these windows all leak really bad. They're Bexon port lights, and they are
Don't
terrible.
Don't buy Beckinson.
It's Bexon.
Bexon. It's Crapson. I've never seen a Bexon port light that does not leak. Ever.
This
Not
is
a one.
So, you know, we're a new YouTube channel, and it would be great for us to get sponsored, but so far we just talk about every company that makes marine products, so I don't think that's gonna happen.
I could be like all these other YouTubers and talk about how great stuff is when it's really not. There's a company out there that gives every YouTuber boat supply stuff, but their products aren't worth a damn. And
is that called West Marine?
No, it's not. It's called Total Boat. I haven't messed with a single product made by Total Boat that's any good. Not a single one. I've been doing this professionally for 25 years.
We've used it in our videos.
Yeah, they're epoxy. Only because somebody gave it to me, and guess what? It's not any good.
All right, well.
It's not.
As you can see, this is
well, you know, it's kind of crap that people that have somewhat of an influence or people following them that enjoy what they do and they trust them, they're pushing these junk products.
so what product are we pushing?
What product would I push? Not Total Boat. I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
They'd have to pay me a lot of money for me to roll over and push Total Boat. Okay? But Bexon, their port lights, garbage. I've never seen a Bexon port light on a boat. My boat, customer boat, any boat. That boat right there has brand new Bexon port lights in it. They leak. Okay? They're plastic. They
Ashton,
can't not
we
leak.
get it. You hate these port lights.
No, I hate junk. You know, make something that works. And their port lights don't work.
Well, Ashton's super grumpy because we are really pressed for time here and we need to paint the back of this boat this
That's not
week.
why I'm grumpy.
What are you grumpy about?
I guess I'm not really grumpy.
Okay, you're not grumpy?
While it cures.
Well, that would have been great if I was actually recording any of that. But I wasn't. So Ashton just...
And this,
At least we have
this
two more
can be
to do.
pulled off. This was just there so it was somewhat lined up.
So we used Sikaflex
$2.95 UV.
UV.
Made
in
specifically for acrylic.
We put a bead around the acrylic window outside of the tape and we've stuck it on here now.
I gotta hold it in place. And then, whether you like it or not, you gotta just use a damn massive amount of paper towel.
Alright,
You
have
could
fun.
tape up around the window and try to do all that, but to me it's easier to just clean it up.
I gotta go sand. Alright, we're finally ready to paint the back of the boat. It's gonna happen today. We're gonna start with the smooth surfaces and get that done. Probably gonna take a day, 2 days to do the smooth surfaces.
Yeah, coat today and try to do 2 coats today, sand it lightly tomorrow, and then another 3rd coat. Finish it off.
And then we'll be able to do the non-skid after that. The first step is to wipe everything down. We use a product called Prep-All, and I've got it in a spray bottle because it disintegrated our pumper sprayer. And if you're wondering why we are painting here at the dock instead of out on anchor like we did for the first half of the boat, it's because we have a lot of wind and we also are going to be wet sanding and polishing the smooth surfaces, so we're not too worried about dust and bugs this time getting in it. The wind's coming off the water behind the boat. It's not coming from the land where the trees are, so theoretically the leaves will be blown that way and there's no bugs, so we should be good with that. So we've got everything taped up. You can see front half of the boat is painted, and now this side, the aft end of the boat will be next. It's like the leaning tower of boxes that you're working on.
A little fat of 3 ounces because I feel like you never get it all out.
Is this the fast cure?
Yeah.
So a little chilly today, not too bad. I mean, it's probably in the 70s, but we've been having some issues with the paint curing.
Not this paint.
Not this paint, a different paint we tried. We're not going to promote that paint. We're going to promote the Sherwin-Williams Sherloxane. It's done us right.
Good luck with it.
But yeah, they have the fast cure or the standard hardener, and we're going with the fast hardener. We like to move fast. We want to be able to sand this tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Lightly with like 320 grit paper, 220 grit.
And then do another coat.
Do another top coat. And I'll come back and reduce it, stir it some more, and then be ready to paint. Anytime you're mixing a 2-pack paint system, even though Sherloxane says you don't have to, it's always good to let it marinate for a little bit. Let it induce, they call it, an induction period. Paints like All Grip, Alex Seal, they want you to let it sit for 15-20 minutes once it's mixed just to let everything start working together. So it never hurts to let it stand for a few minutes. Be smooth. I tend to paint to about 20%, 18%. Pretty a lot of it.
So the last time we painted, when we did the front,
I think I'm just gonna start.
Ashton rolled and tipped the white, the smooth surface, and he ended up getting some brush strokes in it, so he wet sanded and polished it. So we're gonna end up doing that again on the back, and so it's probably not gonna be necessary to tip it. He's gonna try to just roll it.
There's some places where the roller won't get, so you're gonna have to use a brush. What we ought to be doing is taking the Sion anchor and taping it up, spraying it, and we'll be done with it in one day, but we're a gluttonous punishment.
The roller that Ashton is using is 1/8 nap.
I'm gonna try not to tip it. It's coming out pretty good.
Tipping it adds a whole nother dimension to your painting process, and it's time consuming. So hopefully we can get away with not tipping it. We plan to do 3 coats of paint, and that should be plenty of paint to sand and polish. You'll notice we have the railings off, and that's so we can paint under the pads. We're gonna leave the yellow in the back there around each pad. We're gonna do like a little border. So a good little tip for this paint, if you get it on you, rubbing alcohol will take it off. I somehow already got paint on me and I haven't even stepped on the boat yet. So if you don't want to lacquer thinner yourself, rubbing alcohol works just as good.
Now once you see that brush, go lightly go right around the base of the
Alright, Ashton has 1 coat on one side, moving right along. It only took all of 15 minutes to get it done.
The one thing I really like about this polysiloxane coating by Sherwin-Williams is the recoatability is indefinitely, even without abrading it.
What does that mean, indefinitely?
They claim that it has an
anytime.
unlimited recoat window without abrading it, only surface cleaning. So that means if we wanted to repaint this boat in 2 or 3 years from now, 4 years from now, you would take a bucket of water and Dawn dish soap and some red Scotch-Brite pads, and you would just scrub the hell out of the boat real quick, wash it off, and that's all the prep work you got to do. You ain't got to get the damn sander out again. You don't have to, you know, go solvent washing it. I mean, it's just, it's incredible because it's an industrial coating. This paint is actually what every Carnival cruise ship has this on it. Every tugboat, all the Coast Guard boats use it. It's an incredible paint. The problem with it is, it's not water thin like, you know, we're kind of new to using it, but we've had wonderful results spraying it. When you spray it and you get it figured out, it comes out like glass. But I have yet to find a way to get it to come out like glass by rolling and tipping it. So if you want a glass finish and you're putting it with a roller and a brush, you got to do like we did right there, which that looks incredible. And that's wet sanded with 400 grit sandpaper, 600 grit, 800 grit, and then compound and polished.
This is the 2nd coat. Ashton's almost finished with it, and then we're done for the day painting. What do you say?
Pintura finito, señor Rita.
El tiempo para el cerveza.
I'm gonna wait until later. There's a good chance later today, in about 3 hours, I might put another coat of paint on this. Give it a nice thick base, lightly sanded scrape that up and repaint that.
No!
Stipply. Just leave it.
No! 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 No way,
How much
Jose.
easier that is.
No way.
Oh,
Ashton,
my debut.
excuse me? This morning, we are getting ready to finish painting this boat. We're gonna do the non-skid on all of the back deck and
Here's
cabin
your piece
top.
of hand.
And hopefully we can get 2 coats down and it will be done. Ashton finished up the second few coats. They were the 3rd and the 4th coat of the smooth surfaces, the white. Yesterday, I didn't film that, and the last coat that he did
Why don't
was
you
rolled and
explain to
tipped.
everyone that we're having to do something a little bit untraditional back here.
What's that?
How the non-skid is going to come down here.
Yeah. Okay. You explain it.
And why is that?
Because you messed it up.
We had an issue with the paint and we don't have time to fix it.
Yeah.
So we just got to cover it up.
So, the other
Harley's new
day...
snake oil paint she wanted to try.
No. The other day, I had to scrape off all that paint around the companionway that was not cured. It was a paint that we tried that we had never used before, and either it was old, or we didn't mix it right, or there was too much humidity, or solar flares, or
It was mixed right.
radioactive leakage from the power plant. What else could it have been?
I don't know, but I'm going to use the yellow tape ones for it.
So it didn't cure, and we had to peel it off with a razor and some chisels and sand the rest off. We'll get everything off to a clean surface again, and now we're just going to non-skid that. I guess you would have wanted to paint it the white, but it's gonna be non-skidded. It's all right. There's gonna be a turtle top over this companionway where the door slides out, the hatch slides over underneath the turtle, and the companionway slider door probably is going to get painted a cool color. We haven't decided what one, but we have some leftover paint colors from our paint job, from the hull and the non-skid and all that, so we haven't decided what color we're going to use, but we'll make it funky. And then yeah, that's what's happening today. Finishing this job off, finally. So a very important step before you get ready to paint is after you've taped everything up, you want, at this stage, because we're working around this white surface that we've got a little bit of paint over into where the non-skid's gonna go, we're gonna want to scuff this up with the Scotch-Brite pad. We use these red ones, they're a little coarser than the green, and that will allow you to get a good adhesion onto that already painted white part. Alright, the last bit of Frankenstein fiberglass to get covered up. What happened? So we are finished with our paint job. It looks so good. And we just put the railings on. We're ready to leave the boat for a few days. And next time we come down here to work, we'll be doing a few little projects, but everything else is finished for now with this paint job. We do need to polish and sand the white part on the back. Okay.
Yeah, it looks good.
You
I'm
happy with it?
Yeah. I think we did a great job. A lot of work.
Yeah, it was a huge project, but alright, well, we'll see you next time. It feels so good to have this huge project completed and to be one step closer to leaving for the Bahamas, where we will use this boat to do sailing charters with the Boy Scout program. It's almost mind-boggling the amount of progress we have made in a relatively short amount of time, and the transformation is incredible. All of our hard work has paid off, and we now have a beautiful boat to host our guests on and to share our love of sailing with. We have a few more checklist items to finish up that we will share with you next time. Until then, we hope to hear from you in our comments section. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We are at Rig to Ramble on Instagram and share updates often. If you have any questions on the products we use, please reach out to us. And if you are inspired to use any of these products, please use our links in the description. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time on Rig to Ramble, where adventure runs on elbow grease.